Can you check yung diniscuss natin last time with how to interact with patients with these needs? Alam mo dito.
Yes, ma'am, anxiety po.
Okay, okay. So we'll be continuing with the interview. But anyway, sabi ko nga, tingnan natin kung hanggang saan yung kaya nating tapusin for today, and then siguro more on reviewing kayo. Balikan nyo lang tong mga inaano natin. And then yun, getting ready for the nursing week next week. I would also like to announce, I don't know if you've already seen the announcement sa GC natin. So we usually have this tradition or yearly project wherein we usually give gift giving sa mga ano natin. Even as na mga instructors, we also pitch in para dun sa adopted barangay natin. Yung adopted barangay natin, dun kayo usually magjo-duty pag community. Okay, so you interact with the people there dun sa mga certain barangays or certain barrio na yun. So we usually give gift giving. Actually, ang nakatoka sa ating mga first year, because I'm also the advisor for first year, more on for the kids. Okay, so I'm sure nakita nyo naman na yung nakatoka sa atin. And then second year is for families yung sa kanila, kasi since ang subject nila is community health nursing, so more on families sila. The third year is for the senior citizens, kasi ang subject nila is the gerontology nursing, more on care of older adult. Tapos yung sa mga fourth year ninyo is more on health workers, mga ganon. Health workers, security guards din dito. Binibigyan din natin sila as a sign of ano rin din, spirit of gift giving, ganon. So technically it's not it's not mandatory. Kaya ang ginagawa natin is per pack is ang nag-share na lang 2 students. So hindi siya individual. So per pack is shared by 2 students para ma-lessen din natin yung cost. So if ever lang na ma-finish nyo yung yung pagpapack nung sa inyo, um, by section nyo na lang ibigay, okay? By section nyo na lang ibigay. And we are planning sana, I don't know kung kung matatapos natin yung yung accumulation of it this week, kung kaya ba. And then, the SNO officers along with some faculties will be the one to give it doon sa mga beneficiaries natin. Kung hindi man natin magawa this hopefully maisingit namin next week, hopefully. Okay? So if ever, update nyo na lang si president ninyo. Okay? So, yun lang naman yung natin, mga gagawin natin this week. And then for next week, ayun, do not and please do inform me if ever may mga sasama dun sa mga activities. Okay? Especially with the contests. Ayun lang, para maiano natin in case manalo, 'di ba? Sayang naman yung sayang naman yung nila, yung plus points, 'di ba? Okay? So we'll be starting with the interview. Okay, 'di ba magsisimula teach you the do's and don'ts when we do the interview. Alam ko naman na most of you, interact with people a lot, 'di ba? So iba't iba din naman kasi yung pakikipag-interact client or a patient. Okay, so how will we do those things? Iano natin yung mga do's and don'ts natin. Okay. So interviewing, this consists of forming a contract. Okay, but technically hindi naman kayo magpipirmahan ni patient. So this is forming a contract or particularly a relationship with behavior. Now, during the interview, the contract's terms include, of course, time and place ng interview, di ba? Madalas naman, that would be at the hospital. And any succeeding follow-up, di ba? I-remind nyo din naman sila in case they have certain follow-up examination would follow, right? Diba? From interview to physical exam, since you will be collecting subjective and then objective data. Now, introduction of self and brief explanation of the nurse's role. Okay, basahin ko muna ha. The purpose of the interview, confidentiality, and to what extent it may be limited, and any cost the patient may pay. Okay, unang-una, the introduction. Okay, as nurses, 'di ba, we do not just go inside the room and then interview a patient. Okay? So, kailangan din na ma-establish natin yung trust and rapport with our patient. You need to establish that. In every person naman, di ba? You don't usually just ask them randomly. Okay? You introduce yourself first. Okay? Trying to gain their trust, of course. So, di ba, for example, hello po, good morning. I am Nurse Aliana. I will be your student nurse for today. I am from Virgen Milagrosa. Okay, College of Nursing, etc., etc. Okay, I will be here for the morning shift. So you'll introduce yourself for them or with them. Tapos sasabihin mo, may I interview you? Inyo. This is just for an activity and needed for my related learning experience. Ganun, ganon. Diba? Kasi pag nasa hospital kayo, or depende naman if you are at the community, diba? But you need to adjust, of course, kung ano yung language, diba? Lang naman mag-English tayo if ano tayo dito, more on Filipino, okay? But, you know, if you're having a hard time speaking in Filipino, maybe you can partner up with your fellow students. Because I think some of our students right now, some are foreign and some are from abroad, di ba? Yung mga lumaki abroad or lumaki galing US, etc. So some of them are having a hard time speaking in Filipino. So maybe you can partner up with your classmates, 'di ba? Who can help you, okay? So ganun lagi, you'll introduce yourself, you tell them the purpose of your interview with them, 'di ba? So that they will be more welcoming, 'di ba? Madalas naman they would entertain you especially if it's about your school, 'di ba? So confidentiality and to what extent it may be limited. So of course, you need to tell them that any information that you can gather from them would be confidential, would be kept by you or probably your partner, your classmate, and of course your clinical instructor, 'di ba? So dun mag-e-end yung confidentiality niyo. But you don't just go around telling people stories about them na, uy, ganito yung pasyente ko, ganito pala yung case niya, okay? You do not do that, okay? So more on ano kayo, more on you need to maintain the trust that they have given you. You need to keep things confidential. Very particular yun pagdating sa ating mga patients, okay? And any cost the patient may pay. So in case sa private man yan or public, you know for a fact that here in the Philippines, once we get admitted, automatic may binabayaran, di ba? Depende na lang, case-to-case basis. Especially in private, we all know hindi naman private hospitals are not charity, 'di ba? So automatic it's a business, okay? Whether you like it or not, you'll be paying fees, 'di ba? So if we know the prices sa mga um activities or diagnostics na ginagawa sa hospital, we should inform the patient. Hindi yung ginugulat natin sila. If we know the price, if we know the cost, we should inform them. Okay? Hindi naman kasi lahat is has a readily available funds, diba? So we should consider that also. Now, for the physical setting, okay, physical setting kung saan natin ginaganap yung interview. Now, if the geographic, first we should inform the patient that we will be maintaining privacy as much as possible. Kasi 'di ba, even you would want to be interviewed in a more private place, away from prying eyes, away from people trying to listen to your conversation with anyone, di ba? Particularly sa mga health concerns ninyo. So aim for a private room in the hospital, clinic, office, or home. Bakit home? Kasi nga ini-include natin dyan yung community health setting na kayo yung pumupunta sa kanila. Okay, private room. Kung hindi man, okay, for example, it's in the ER of the hospital, it's in the OPD unit, okay, outpatient department, di ba? So, you can help naman kung maraming pasyente doon, okay? But you can provide other signs of privacy or other types of privacy. Kasi nga, if the geographic privacy is not available, you can do psychological privacy. How? By using curtain partitions. Diba? Yung tatakpan nyo lang sila. Common na nakikita nyo yan sa mga hospitals. Okay, that can suffice. As long as the patient feels sure that no one can overhear their conversations or no one can interrupt. Yung mga walang nakikinig sa kanila, walang tumitingin sa kanila so that they can tell you more about their condition. Okay? We can also set the room temperature at a comfortable level, but that's the standard. But here in the Philippines, it's very hot even at especially at the public hospitals, right? They don't really have that enough supply of fans or even air conditioners. Okay? So at least man lang we should help the patient be comfortable. So provide sufficient lighting so that the nurse and the patient can see each other clearly, reduce noise, and arrange equal status settings. So you should reduce noise, particularly if you are interviewing them. Baka mamaya hindi kayo nagkakarinigan ng pasyente mo. Baka mamaya ibang data yung makuha mo, hindi mo masyadong maintindihan. Siyempre, pag hindi mo naintindihan yung sinasabi ng pasyente mo, i-confirm mo ulit sa kanya. Eh kung hindi ka sigurado dun sa narinig mo or naintindihan mo, always confirm with the patient. Okay? For equal status setting, meaning if you are sitting down, the patient should also be sitting down. Diba? Equal status setting. Pero kung nakahiga naman yung pasyente sa bed, that's an exception naman. Alam mo na humiga ka din dun sa tabi niya, diba? So you can stand, you can sit down, as long as everyone is comfortable with the setup. Okay? Okay. Oh, sorry. So next would be the patient-centered approach, meaning this is how you would interact with your patient or what are the things that you need to consider. Okay, some of this we've already discussed in the previous lesson that we have, diba? Particularly sa age, you need to consider, are you interviewing a child? Are you interviewing a young adult, an older adult, diba? So you need to be able to adjust. Okay, kung sino yung kausap mo. For their culture, you need to consider the culture of your patient, especially if you work abroad, because you'll be at a hospital wherein there are a lot of people from all walks of life, from all or most of the other countries. Okay, pwede ring some of them have different traditions, have different cultures, and you need to respect that. Okay, you cannot impose to them the things that you were used to. Okay, so each of us has very different cultures. It may be more polite to, ask them with regards to their preference, out of respect, diba? So there are some things that they are not allowed to do or hindi nila pwedeng gawin sa nila. For example, may mga cases wherein blood transfusions are not allowed, diba? Or surgeries are not allowed in their cases. Can be through their nationality or their race or pwede namang minsan with regards to their religion. Okay, so we need to consider that. Okay, so if you want people to respect your culture, your tradition, you should also do the same. You should also be considerate with that. Next would be gender identity and expression. Okay, so now that this is becoming more, what do you call this? More accepted kasi before, di ba, hindi, medyo nahihirapan tayong i-introduce ito sa ibang tao. But nowadays, a lot of people now are embracing this, the gender identity and expression. Like I said, it's not all about what you believe in. Okay? Meron kasi yung iba na, oh, I'm not going to respect their preferences because I do not believe in that. Okay? Some people are like that. But you don't need to believe in their beliefs. Okay? But you can respect them. Diba? Kasi yun yung sinasabi ko, may mga ilang na hindi pa rin ganun ka-accepted yung mga natin, mga gender identity, how we express ourselves. But you need to respect that. Okay? So, when meeting a client or meeting a patient, it's becoming more normal with asking how they identify themselves. Okay? At sabi ko nga, medyo nahuhuli kasi tayo sa Philippines. Okay? Medyo nahuhuli. siguro additional factor na din that we are understaffed wherein, just to, what do you call this? Just to make the transaction or the checkups, the assessment faster, may mga bagay na tayong ini-skip, 'di ba? So, dito common na lang yung tinatawag na natin silang Mr. or Miss. Okay? So, with regards to their, what do you call this? With regards to their, ano man tawag dito? Their biology, di ba? Kung male or female ba sila. Okay? But, it's all about trying to respect their identity more. Okay? So, we should also consider that. Okay? So, I hope when you guys are already in the setting or the clinical setting, you should be more aware of this. Okay, showing respect, especially with our patients or our clients. Okay, next would be the language. Here in Pangasinan, more on, of course, Filipino. You'll be speaking mostly in Filipino with our clients or patients, but some of them would prefer you talking to them in Pangasinan or Ilocano, but mostly Pangasinan. Okay, if you don't know how to speak the dialect, maybe you can go for Tagalog or Filipino naman. Wala namang problema doon, di ba? But if you're really having a hard time, you can, like I said, partner up with your classmate. Next would be physical or emotional distress. You need to check if the patient is comfortable. Okay, hindi pwedeng under physical distress siya tapos pinapatuloy pa rin natin yung interview. Like I said, always stabilize your patient. Be it physical or emotional distress, you need to stabilize them before doing the interview or before doing the physical assessment. Okay? Next would be sensory impairment, gaya nung sa hearing, di ba, na-mention natin yun before. So, you need to consider that, yung mga reminders natin doon. Sabi ko nga, talk to them in your normal tone of voice, go for the good ear, etc. So, kung ano man yung sensory impairment nila, we should be able to adjust. And cognitive impairment, of course, you need to consider that also. Hindi yung parang pinipilit natin sila, alam naman natin na they have a problem cognitively. Okay, we need to find ways on how to interact with them more. So as nurses, you need to be really flexible. Sabi ko nga, you need to have your clinical judgment and your common sense with regards to this. Okay? Next would be your establishing your rapport. Okay? Paano nyo gagawin yon? So when you say establishing rapport, you need to establish the trust and the relationship that you have with your patient. Okay? So how will you do that? Of course, you need to have the professional behavior and effective communication. Meaning, okay, as nurses, kailangan makipag-interact kayo sa kanila as nurses. Okay? Not as a friend, not as a family, but you can show empathy. I'm not telling you to be professional lang na dun lang kayo titigil. Iba kasi yung talking to them as a family member, as a friend, compared to being professional and showing empathy. Okay? Empathy meaning you are putting yourselves in their shoes. Okay? You know how they feel. You understand how they feel. Ba? So that's very different. Okay? Andun pa rin yun. Pasok pa rin yun sa pagiging professional ninyo. And of course, along with that, kailangan ng effective communication. Hindi lang yung basta-basta na para kayong nagtanong lang, walang paki sa pasyente. You still need that caring attitude that nurses have. Diba? Yun nga yung sinasabi nila, the essence daw of being a Filipino nurse is us being caring. Okay? So, kailangan ipakita nyo yun. Okay? Okay, so next. Okay. Sorry. So the types of question used during an interview, we have two types. We have first, the open-ended question. Now, what do we mean by open-ended question? Open-ended. So usually, ang open-ended ninyo, it asks for a narrative information, meaning you are asking the patient to tell you a story. You are asking the patient to tell you everything what happened to them. So this is unbiased. It leaves the person free to answer in any way kung paano man niya gusto, kung paano man niya gustong ikwento sa inyo. So this encourages the patient to respond in paragraphs, or maybe they can give a spontaneous account in any order chosen. So this one lets your patient express himself or herself. Okay, di ba? And of course, the result of this is that it builds more rapport. Okay, it enhances rapport. Meaning kasi 'di ba, even you yourself, once you meet a new person, as you start talking about your lives, as you start opening with them, okay, telling them about your life, 'di ba? The more na nagkukuwento kayo, mas nagkakaroon kayo ng relationship with the person. Okay? Be it a platonic relationship, 'di ba? Mas nagtitiwala kayo sa friends ninyo if they ask you about your personal life, if they show that they care, 'di ba? So more on ano to, more on showing rapport. Okay, example, tell me how can I help you? What brings you to the hospital? Tell me why you have come here today, 'di ba? Hindi siya yes or no question eh. Okay, so as your patient answers, maybe he can tell you, nurse, I went here because I accidentally tripped this morning, and then this happened, and then that happened. I felt like this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so nagkwento na si pasyente, nag-open up na siya sa'yo. Diba? So that is the essence of asking these open-ended questions. You'll know more about your patient in paragraphs, in a story, okay, in a more narrative. Okay? So once you are done with the open-ended, magkakaroon kayo na closed or direct question. Okay? So usually, ang closed or direct question from the word itself is specific lang. You are asking for a specific information. Okay? Ayan. So it elicits a short, one or two word answer, yes or no. So uses a direct question after the person's opening narrative, meaning tapos na po yung open-ended natin. Okay, we are just trying to fill in any other questions that we have. Or maybe we are trying to validate the data that they gave us. Okay, so use direct questions when you need many specific facts, such as about past health problems or review of system. But then again, hindi natin ito inuuna kasi it limits rapport and leaves interaction neutral. Meaning, di ba, yes or no lang, umiinom ka ba ng gamot na to? Yes po. Ano iniinom mo? Losartan at amlodipine. That's it. Diba? So wala nang nangyayaring interaction between you and your patient. Okay? Wala nang opening na nangyayari. Okay, but then again, you still need this. We still need the close or direct questions, diba? Have you ever had pain? Ipasa niya, yes. Sabi niya ganun. Do you smoke? Yes. Have you had any operation before? No. Diba? Pwede nang sabihin, yes, I had an appendectomy. Diba? Ganun lang. More on one word, two word answer, yung mga madali lang, 'di ba? So yes or no, ganun. So that is your closed or direct question. Tandaan, pag open, mahaba yung sinasabi ni pasyente. It gives them an opening, okay? An opening to their lives, okay? Pag closed, more on diretso lang tayo. One word, two word, yes or no, specific information, yun yung closed or direct question. Yan. What medications are you presently taking? Okay, so let's talk about the process of communication. So first is sending. So sending a message is done through verbal and non-verbal communication. Diba? Dalawa naman yon. First, of course, verbal communication. This is through spoken or written words and vocalizations. Okay, yun yung mga sinasabi natin or sinusulat natin. Okay, yung mga direct nating ginagawa, direct nating sinasabi. Pag non-verbal, this is through certain gestures, your facial expressions, your posture, your body movement, your voice tone, the volume, rate of speech, and the way you dress, diba? So tinatawag siyang non-verbal because even though we are not speaking, some of these gestures here can indicate something. Diba? Pag kunwari mukha kang galit, they would tell you na, are you mad? Okay? If you look happy, are you happy? Okay? Are you feeling sad? Etc. etc. Tumaas yung boses mo. Are you mad about this? Diba? Okay? So, it depends. You talk really fast. Are you nervous? Okay, so may mga non-verbal communication din tayo. And please do not disregard yung non-verbal communication kasi minsan mas nakakapag-indicate pa ng accurate information ang non-verbal. Okay? Kasi unconscious natin yung ginagawa. Diba? Not very many people can control how they make their gestures, their facial expressions, diba? Yung mga body movement nila. Not many people can control that. Okay? So nonverbal communication is under less conscious control than verbal communication. Therefore, it is more accurate of their thoughts and feelings. Diba? Next is receiving. So words and gestures must be interpreted in specific context to have meaning. So, di ba, hindi lang yung basta-basta nag-uusap kayo. You need to be able to understand also. It's how you receive kung ano yung sinasabi ng tao sa'yo. Kasi di ba, if not received properly, it can create misunderstandings, miscommunication. Diba? So, kailangan naiintindihan mo siya ng maayos. It should be interpreted in a specific context. Okay? Depende na sa pagkakaintindi mo. So, next is the internal factors that affect communication. Ano ba yung mga yon? So, first is liking others. So, one essential factor into helping relationship is the liking of others. Okay? Especially in nursing. Diba? You need to like people. Hindi po pwedeng sabihin sa akin, ma'am, introvert po ako. O paano yan ngayon? Ma'am, introvert ako, ayoko na malabas ng kwarto, ayoko may kinakausap. O paano yan? Paano natin interviewin yung mga pasyente natin? Diba? Paano natin kakausapin si doktor? Okay? So you should be able to adjust. Okay? Because this course that you have chosen, this path that you have chosen entails you know, interacting a lot with people. Okay? You need to have a long patience for this. Okay? So empathy, it means viewing the world from the other person's inner frame of reference. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, that you are trying to understand, you are trying to put yourself in the shoes of these people, you are trying to understand them. Okay? So it means recognizing and accepting their feelings without criticisms, the non-judgmental attitude. Diba? It is described as feeling with the person rather than feeling like the person. Meaning, naiintindihan mo. Naiintindihan mo kung saan siya nagagaling, naiintindihan mo kung anong nangyayari sa kanya. When you say sympathy kasi, okay, it's feeling like the person. Meaning, kung naiiyak yan, umiiyak ka na din dyan. Kung nalulungkot yan, malungkot ka din. Kung galit yan, galit ka din. Okay? You are mirroring their feelings. Okay? But when you say empathy, you understand how they feel. You get how they feel. Okay? The ability to listen. So active listening requires the nurse's complete attention. It is the root to understanding and listen to what the patient says. Okay? So of course, we are not just talking to the patient. We should be able to listen also. You need to listen to them. You need to understand kung ano man yung sinasabi nila. Okay? So, those are the internal factors that affect communication. How about for external? Yan. So, some of this na-mention na natin kanina, di ba? Okay? First is would be ensuring privacy. Sabi nga natin, aim for private room. Ay mga yan, psychological privacy. You should also refuse interruption. So inform any support staff of the interview and ask that they do not interrupt. Kaya hindi yung in-interview mo yung pasyente, may pasok ng pasok dun sa kwarto. May tanong ng tanong. Okay? Or for example naman, may kasama yung pasyente, mga bata na nandun sa kwarto, okay? Pasok sila ng pasok, tapos ang iingay, okay? You may need to tell them na kailangan yung interviewin yung pasyente, they need to tone it down, sawayin nyo din sila. Because it's very important that you have a good communication with the client or the patient. Okay? Next, physical environment. Ganun din sa sinabi natin kanina. Ito yung mga kailangan yung gawin pa din. Same as ensuring privacy, di ba? Next would be the dress or how you dress rather. So the patient should remain in street clothes except in the case of an emergency. Di ba kung ano yung casual na sinusuot natin, they should be in that manner. Di ba? In case of an emergency, ano ba yan? Nasunog ba yan? For example, nasa bathtub ba yan? Nakuryente ba yan? Di ba? But then again, it should be appropriate. And the nurse's appearance should also be appropriate to the setting. Okay, we should meet the conventional professional standards, especially if your hospital has their own policies. Okay? Especially tayo, di ba may mga dress code din tayo ngayon, may mga bawal din tayo. Eh, hindi lang yun basta-basta ginawa natin dahil trip lang po natin. We did that also to have more discipline, particularly with students. Why? It's because once you are future nurses or once you are nurses already, hospitals that you will be in also have their own set of rules. So kaya namin kayo nire-ready para pagdating ng araw na yon, you can follow those policies easily. You can follow the rules easily. Diba? Disiplinado kayo. That's why we are also doing those. Okay? Note taking. So note taking is necessary to remember important information during an interview. Keep note taking to a minimum during an interview and focus attention on the patient. Although it's very important, pero dapat paunti-unti lang. Okay? Or main words lang yung sinusulat natin. Hindi mo naman isusulat na word for word yung sinasabi ng pasyente mo. Okay? You need to also remember it by your memory and by your heart. Okay? May mga cases naman na even if we interview them, na-memorize naman natin kasi lahat eh. Okay? But this is also very important in nursing. Okay, pati sa atin. I really want you guys to do note-taking kasi mas naaalala niyo yung mga bagay pag ganun eh. Okay, so sana ganun din ang gagawin ninyo pagdating sa mga pasyente. Okay, but I'm not saying na dun ka lang mag-focus. Mas maganda pa din na pagdating sa pasyente nyo, you can easily remember the facts that they are giving you. Okay, yung mga information na binibigay nila sa inyo. So tape and video recording, okay? We usually do this lang pag necessary. Okay, kasi may mga ethical considerations tayo like permission from the patient. Okay? Pag kailangan mo naman talaga. So explain to the patient the purpose of the recording, 'di ba? Kailangan i-inform mo bakit po natin 'to ginagawa para ba to sa, let's say, if you have a study, you have a thesis, you'll be asking for the permission of your patient. Okay? Obtain consent from the patient. Siyempre, importante yan. Sabi nga natin, we must always maintain privacy of the patient. We do not give out their names. We do not post them on Facebook. We do not post them on Instagram. Okay? That's their privacy. Kahit kayo din naman, di ba? But, if you did it with their consent, okay? Pero usually nga, piniprevent natin, di ba? Para hindi sila masyadong ma-expose. Okay? So, ganun yung natin, kailangan magpaalam tayo. Okay? Sorry. Next would be the techniques of communication. First, facilitation or facilitation of general leads. Okay, ito mga ito nasa libro nyo din naman. So these response encourage the patient to say more and continue with the story. Ito yung mga ginagamit natin pag nag-i-interview tayo ng pasyente natin. We usually use these techniques or these words to get more information. Okay, di ba? Ayan, yes, go on, I'm with you. Kunwari, nagkikwento siya sa'yo. Pwede mong sabihin, sige po, ano pa po? O tapos po, ano pong nangyari? What happened? Okay, can you continue further? Okay, and then after that, what happened to you? What happened to them? Diba? You are asking for more. You are making them continue to tell the story. Okay, they need to continue to finish the story rather for you to be able to know what is happening or what happened to them. Okay, next, active listening. Listening with a purpose and notice non-verbal behavior. Sabi nga natin, non-verbal behaviors are more accurate. So do active listening. Aside from listening to their words, you also pay attention to their behaviors. Okay, I hope you do that, really. Okay, reflection. This response echoes the patient's words. It is repeating a part of what the patient has said. For example, sabi niya, nurse, I drank a case of Red Horse that night. Okay, pwede mo ibalik. A case of Red Horse. Okay, di ba? Tapos pwede na rin yung it's sometimes part din siya ng facilitation eh. Kasi sabi, a case of Red Horse, kamong ganun. Pwede sabi, yes nurse, I drank a case of Red Horse that night. I was so sad, I was so angry, etc. etc. O, mas mag-open na naman si pasyente sa'yo. Okay? What else? Sorry. Okay. So addressing inconsistencies. When we address inconsistencies, we are just verifying or validating data. You can ask them directly with that. Okay? Pwede mong sabihin na, parang hindi po nagtugma yung kwento ninyo. Sabi nyo po, 3 days na po kayong nilalagnat. Pero sabi nyo po, mainit na po kayo nung Sunday pa lang, 'di ba? You can address it. You can immediately ask them regarding inconsistencies just to confirm all the information is accurate. Kasi sabi nga natin, you need to ensure everything is verified. Why? It's because you will be basing your nursing process on your data. So, kailangan accurate lahat. Okay? So next, clarification. This is used when the person's word choice is ambiguous or confusing. This is also used to summarize the patient's words, simplify them to make them clearer, and ask for agreement. The patient can confirm or deny, sorry, or yan ha, or deny the nurse's understanding. Diba? Pag hindi tayo sigurado, again, part of verifying the data, we need to clarify it. Okay? Ano po yun ulit? 3 days na po kayong nilalagnat. Diba? Okay, inubo po kayo nung Tuesday pa lang. Okay. Diba? You need to ask them. Kung ano yung nakuha yung information, kung medyo hindi nyo maintindihan yung timeline, hindi nyo maintindihan yung nangyari, you can continuously ask your patient. Okay? Next is interpretation. It is based on influence or conclusions that you make. Diba? Kayo yung nag-interpret, kayo yung nagka-come up with conclusions based on the information that you have, syempre, di ba? So it links the events, make associations, or implies the cause. From then on, di ba, part pa rin to ng assessment, and as you go on, you will have a proper diagnosis on that. Okay? So kindly wait. Okay, going back. Sabi ko nga, you need to interpret all the data that you have collected. Okay? Hindi lang yung basang kinuha mo lang data, ay inubo siya neto, ay nag-fever siya neto. Okay, you need to link them together. Kasi malay nyo, those are already signs and symptoms of diseases. Not just simple cough, not just a simple fever. Diba? So doon ka na mag-iisip, parang nagkaroon siya ng low-grade fever neto. Parang fluctuating yung fever niya neto. Diba? Ay parang pag-afternoon siya nagkakaroon ng fever. Okay, you can relate that to other cases, 'di ba? So you will come up with conclusions now. Okay? Next is summarization. So this is the final review of what you understand with what your patient had just said. So it condenses the facts and presents a survey of how the nurse perceives the health problem or their need. Okay? Sinasummarize mo na lahat ng nakuha mong information, gumagawa ka na ng listahan, sinusulat mo, gumagawa ka ng process of elimination, di ba? You are linking everything together. Okay, so that's part of it. And from your summary, you can come up with a diagnosis. From then on, you can come up with a plan, an intervention. Diba? Dun lagi nagsisimula yun. Based on how you interview your patient and how you gather your data. Okay? So those are some of the techniques. Okay? Yun, what are the behaviors that intervene gawin, di ba? Ay, sorry. Okay. Example, providing false assurance or reassurance, di ba? Everyone wants assurance, right? But in the case of your patient, wag basta-basta nagbibigay. Okay, for example, si patient, may na-discover tayong bukol. Sabi niya, oh, I just know this lump is going to turn out to be cancer. Sabi niya, nag-overthink siya. Okay, tapos bigla mong sinabi, oh, don't worry, I'm sure you'll be alright. Kamusta kanya? Don't worry about it. Huwag ka mag-alala, wala yan, di ba? Okay? So that response can close off the communication between you and your patient. Hindi na siya nag-open. Kasi usually, pag ganyan, di ba may na-discover na bukol, nag-overthink siya, ina-anxiety. Di ba? Kasi nag-aalala siya eh. So it trivializes her anxiety and effectively denies any further talk of it. Also, if you promise something that may not happen, he or she may not be alright. Meaning, magbe-break din yung trust niya sa'yo. Diba? Kasi pwede niya sabihin, paano pag let's say cancerous talaga yun, gaya ng iniisip niya. Eh, ikaw nagsabi, sabi mo magiging okay lang ako, nurse. Sabi mo sa akin, you told me this would be nothing. You told me I would be alright. Diba? So, babalik sa'yo. Mabibreak ngayon yung trust niya sa'yo. Diba? So, do not give them false assurance. I know you're trying to be helpful to try to calm them, but it's not a good thing. Okay? Pwede kang mag-initiate ng facilitation of leads. Parang yan, you're really worried about the lump, aren't you? Oh, pwede na yun sabihin, yes, nurse, I'm really worried about it because I still have 3 kids, I'm a single mother, etc., etc., di ba? Pwede siya mag-open. Okay, pwede mo rin sabihin, let's just wait for the biopsy results and hope for the best, di ba? Safe answer, mga safe answer to. Okay, I care about what happens to you. I'm here today and I want you to know I'll be here all week. Okay, you're showing support. Okay na yun. Okay, but do not give them false assurance or reassurance. Okay, huwag kayo magpa-promise ng hindi kayo sigurado. Okay? Same thing with having relationships, di ba? Ganun naman yung gusto nyo. So do not give false assurance or reassurance. Know when to answer. Okay? Alamin nyo kung paano nyo i-approach yung mga pasyente ninyo. Okay? Next. Giving unwanted advice. Okay? So, for example, your patient tells you, Dr. Olali just told me that my only chance of getting pregnant is to have an operation. I just don't know. What would you do? Sabi niyang ganon. Tapos ikaw naman, na mahaderang nurse, if I were you, I'd follow the doctor's recommendation. Kung ako sa'yo, susundin ko na lang si doktor kasi mas alam niya yan. Diba? Okay? So that response has shifted the accountability for decision making from her to you. Instead of your patient having their own autonomy, okay? Their own autonomy to decide for things, to decide for themselves, nagbigay ka na. Like I said, as nurses, we are just giving options. We are giving them the pros and cons, but never ever decide for them. Okay? So with your answer, the patient did not work out her own solution. Kasi siya, for sure, worried lang naman siya, di ba? So, wag mo siyang pangunahan. Eh, maybe they're just worried, they're just anxious about it, di ba? So, what could be your response? Okay, pwede mo sabihin, have an operation. Parang, ano to, di ba? You are reflecting. Di ba? Gaya ng mga techniques natin kanina. Okay, inulit mo, have an operation. Kapag ganun. Pwedeng mag-voice out si patient. Yes, I'm very terrified of being put to sleep. What if I don't wake up? Sabi niya, yun pala yun pala yung talagang concern niya. Takot siyang mangyaring operation kasi daw baka hindi siya magising. Diba? So the patient has now verbalized her real concerns. Okay, lumabas na. Okay, pwede mong ituloy ulit. Sabi mo, what are the pros and cons of surgery for you? What other concerns do you have? What is holding you back? Diba? Pwede, yung mga sasabihin nyo would be finding out more. Okay? You're making your patient talk more. You're making your patient voice out their concerns. That's how a nurse should be. Diba? So do not give unwanted advice. We are here to give them options. We are here to help them. Okay? Helping them weighing out the pros and cons of the things that we are doing, yung mga interventions natin, but never ever decide for them. Okay? Remember that. Never ever decide for them. Next is using authority. Okay. Lagay ko muna to dito ha. Okay. So using authority, your doctor, your nurse knows best. Kamo ganun. So this is a response that promotes dependency and inferiority. Allow the patient to make their own choice to show respect to their rights and human dignity. Sabi ko nga, kailangan pa rin natin ng autonomy. Okay? Kailangan nilang mag-decide para sa sarili nila. Okay? Kahit sabihin yung professionals tayo, the doctor, the nurse, we do not know what's best. Diba? We only know the proper things that we should do based on our standards of care. But we don't really know kung ano man yung pinaka-best para sa ating pasyente. We are giving them choices. Kasi malay mo, best option nga yung surgery na yan, pero mentally hindi okay yung pasyente. Diba? So you need to also to consider that. Okay? Consider all those things. So kasi pag inaano ninyo na the doctor, the nurse knows best, ayan, so they would depend on you now. Oh, I need my nurse to decide on this. I need my doctor for this. Lahat na lang tinanong na sa doktor. Lahat na lang tinanong na sa nurse. And of course, meron yung iba nagkakaroon ng inferiority complex. Ay, mas marunong sila. Wala akong alam dito. Wala naman kasi akong, hindi naman kasi ako doktor, hindi naman kasi ako nurse. Diba? Nagkakaroon na rin sila ng inferiority. So, at least, you need to show respect to their rights, their autonomy, their human dignity. You need to preserve that. Diba? Again, always give them choices and options. Yun lang yung ginagawa po natin. Okay? So using avoidance language. So people use euphemisms to avoid reality or to hide their feelings. Example, passed away, ended all. Okay, medyo morbid pakinggan ano. Pero pag sinabi natin your patient is a bit suicidal. So, sabi niya, I want to end it all. You know, ganon. Oh, my relative passed away. Okay, kasi medyo they're trying to hide how they feel. They are masking it by using euphemisms. So not talking about the fear does not make it go away. It just suppresses it and makes it more frightening. So using direct language is the best way to deal with frightening topics. You can face it head on. But then again, sabi ko nga, may mga ethical considerations pa din tayo. You should know when to do it. Okay, when to do it, when to use those words. Okay, wag naman yung nagiging tactless kayo. 'Di ba? Still maintain, proper decorum. Okay, do not use avoidance language, but still maintain proper decorum. Okay, next. Mamaya yan. Okay, so engaging in distancing. So distancing is the use of impersonal speech to put space between the threat and the self. Okay, parang nilalayo nila yung sarili nila doon sa threat na yun. Okay, ayaw nilang